The two most asked questions in real estate is, how is the market? Or, when is the best time to buy? How is the market is from the sellers. When is the best time to buy is from the buyers. If you're thinking about selling and buying at the same time, those two questions, you're going to think about it quite a bit. But more important question is, in my opinion, what stage of real estate journey are you in? Because that will determine whether it's a good time to buy, whether it's a good time to sell, when is the best time to sell, and all of that. And I'm going to explain what those different stages of real estate is, personal situation. So let's dive into it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shawn Yu from Portland, Oregon. Some people know me as Shawn the Realtor guy. So when it comes to different stages of real estate, the first one is like saving money for down payment. So that's a saving stage. Hunting stage is you're actively looking for a home to buy. First homeowner stage, it explains it, right? The second homeowner stage, which means you already sold your first home or kept your first home as an investment and you moved up because your family is growing, much bigger home. The next stage is investing stage. If you save your first home and bought a second home, like I recommend to many people, then you're already in the investing stage. But if you just have the moved up home and you saved a lot of money thinking about investing in real estate, you're in investing stage. And then I call it the collecting stage. Collecting stage means that you're just collecting the money from the investment that you have. And so that's kind of like the cycle of different stages of the real estate portfolio, personal situation. Some people never may get out of that saving stage. Some people are renting forever. It's a term. Forever renter is an actual term. Now, hunting stage is pretty short, obviously. Some people, typically buy home within about a year. Some people take two years. In the last 5 years, it's been really tough. So I have a few buyers who've been trying for 2 years and finally got few homes. So, and the sort of odd case, there's one buyer that I know, he hasn't bought for like 15 years. That's a whole other story and whole other set of videos there. So you have to ask your question, what stage of the real estate journey am I in? Am I in the savings phase? Am I in the first time hunting this and that? So you get the point, right? The other thing that I want you to think about is, beyond this stage of, ownership, the other thing is the personal situation too. So for example, if you're moving to a different state for a new job, you're in what I call more of a transitional state. Because you move to a new job doesn't mean you're going to stay there for like 10 years, right? So you could actually you may not like the job, you may have to go to another state. You're in that transitional state. One good example is if you just got a job at Intel and you moved to Oregon. What if that Intel lays off people again? You have to go to Samsung in, let's say, Texas. In that situation, in that transitional state, it may not be the best time to buy, especially brand new homes, because brand new homes lose value in the first 2-3 years. So you could lose money if you did that. The other state is I call it I should talk about offense state first. When I say offense, means like offensive. Offensive? No, offense. When you do sports, offense, you attack, right? That's when you're collecting real estate. You're investing, you're buying, you're acquiring those real estate. Now, the defense state is you've already accumulated the real estate and you're basically protecting what you have. So that's a defense state. The other kind of in between is the neutral state. Neutral state is where you're not buying, you're not defending, you're just riding the wave. And a lot of times, like first-time homeowners or second homeowners, they're just enjoying the property. They're just enjoying the equity building and everything. So there's a different stages and different states, if that makes sense. And I could dive into it more, but so the question going back to, is it a good time to buy? Question you need to ask yourself is, what stage and what state are you in right now? Because that's going to answer a lot of your questions, and that's the most important thing. And so personally speaking, always good time to buy, that's a bit exaggerated. It's not really accurate because everybody's stage and state are very different. In my opinion, so if you're not in the transitional state, if you're in the transitional state, it's better to rent, in my opinion, in a new city, new job. Just rent for a year, and you're going to learn about the city. You're going to learn about which part of town that you like, what kind of real estate that you like. You talk to your coworker, learn about different neighborhoods. If you're in like a, offense state, I mean, that's a talk for like investors. So you need to work with the realtors who know how to invest. If you're in a defense state, that's where you need to maybe talk to a financial advisor. You have 5 different properties. How can I maximize this? Whether it's cash flow, whether it's the appreciation. Maybe you need to think about 1031 exchange. Maybe you need to think about selling some of them off and putting into more of a liquid form. Although real estate is pretty liquid nowadays, because if you price it well, things sell within months a lot of times. And it's kind of like, it's not as liquid as money from savings account, but it's, it is pretty liquid because things can sell pretty fast. So I hope that makes sense. So when it comes to selling, let's talk about selling. When is a good time to sell? That's a great question. I actually didn't think this through. I'm just like improvising here. If you're in a more investing side of the stage, selling may not be the best time. If you're going to sell, you might want to consider that 1031 exchange. But if you're in a collecting stage, you've already retired, you're relying on investment property income, you have to decide whether you need a big lump sum or are you okay with the monthly residual income coming from investment. And I'm not a big fan of like selling off real estate. So, but if you have to sell, let's say you have to sell. Let's say you own just one home, you have to sell, you have to move. Then that's the best time to sell. Unless you don't have to sell. If you don't have to sell, why are we even having this conversation? So if you have to move out of state, if you have to move to a different city, if you have to downsize because the house is too big, if you have to sell because the house is too small, so you have to look at your personal situation a lot more than the current market condition. Because current market condition can be overcome by the right pricing, right preparation to sell, and all of that. And you talk to a real professional realtors, you're going to be well taken care of. The only thing that I'll be like cautioning you is don't rely on those headline news. Like 5% depreciated in the whole country. That doesn't really matter because the real estate is a micro market. You need to know your market. You need to price well. You need to prep your house well and all of that. So the video is getting about 10-minute mark. So I'm going to stop here. But again, kind of going back to when is the best time to sell and buy. That's all depending on your personal situation, personal stage of real estate. I just made this up. And the state of your personal situation matters more than overall market, national market. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. It shouldn't be that important. So Thanks for watching. I hope that makes sense. Hit the like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions about Portland, Oregon market, you can call me anytime, or you can text me at 503-515-4499. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.